Hello and a very warm welcome. As you know, a picture speaks 1,000 words, so I thought I'd like to show you what we do on our 3-day flower painting course. The flower painting course is designed for complete beginners, people who've never picked up a pen, a pencil, painted a flower or done anything. We're going to start at the beginning. It is, however, also suitable for people who've painted flowers many times but would like to paint maybe in a different way or explore different methods. And I have many people who come back 2, 3, 4 times on the course because each time they're learning something different. So what we do is we start on worksheets. Bigger than this, but big worksheets. And the idea of the worksheet is that we play and experiment and try drawing and sploshy paints and ink and rigger brushes, and we just fill the worksheets and practice and practice and play. And so we do that on day 1, and then on day 2 and 3 we paint a picture. And if when we're painting our picture we decide to do a flower we're not quite sure how to approach, we can go back to the worksheet and have another go on there. So day 1, we start with one simple leaf. And I've got a few leaves here, all in different shapes and sizes. And so we pick a very simple one like this phlox leaf just to begin. And I've got lots of ways of showing you how to draw and paint to make life easier for people who find drawing quite hard, and drawing is hard. So I was lucky enough to learn botanical illustration with a lady called Anne-Marie Evans, who has an MBE for services to botanical art and education. So I really learned how to observe flowers. And that's something we're going to look at and is very important. So it's important to understand the structure of the flower and how the leaves meet the stems and that sort of thing. But I personally prefer a looser style of painting, and I'm going to show you those later. So if we take this phlox leaf, one way of making it easier to draw is to draw this center line. By drawing the center line, I'm just drawing in pen so it shows nice and easily on the camera. You can then put the sides in and the leaf will always make sense. Without the center line, it's very easy to get the leaf wrong. It also means that we can put these interesting twists on leaves that they have. And again, they'll always make sense, the way that that might cross over or do something like that. And so you've instantly got this lovely movement in your leaf just from something so simple as the centre line. The same approach goes for flowers. If we take something like these beautiful tulips, if we try and work out the shape, the basic shape of the tulip is like this, and then we fit the petals into that, and it just makes sense. It's just much easier than trying to work it all out. If we were to take a clematis and we drew the outer shape, we can put the flower on a tilt really easily by drawing the center up here, like that. And then how we did the leaves, we're going to put the petals in the same way with the center line. And then we can get these lovely twists on there. And the flower will always make sense. Because we've got everything coming back to this center point, and then we can put that in like that. And we've got a lovely clematis on an angle. So then we're going to do some painting. We're going to draw and paint on our practice sheets. We have all these lovely watercolor paints and gouache paint. And gouache is really handy because it's opaque. So when you're drawing something or painting something like this, forget-me-not, and you paint the blue petals, you can use the opaque yellow gouache for the centre, and you couldn't do that in watercolour. So it's a good way of doing it, and gouache can be good if you make a bit of a mistake. It can be a bit of a cover-up. We also work with these lovely inks, and I'll show you in a minute what we can do with those, but the colours are just quite scrumptious and really vibrant, and we've got all those beautiful colours. So let me show you some of the different styles that you can do on the course. I very much don't teach in a prescriptive style. I like you to play and find the way that you would like to paint. And it might be over time that you paint in very different ways for different flowers. And that's what I find. I find different flowers speak to me to be portrayed in different ways. So here's a loose but fairly traditional sort of watercolour of daisies and buttercups and dandelions. And you can see we've put in a little sense of a tablecloth. We've got the white flowers, a little bit of a mushy background. We've put some strong darks in to bring out the yellow. And it's got that lovely sort of wild feeling of wild flowers. This again is a fairly traditional sort of watercolour. We've mixed the colours so the colours are slightly softer. We've put in some nice little spots of detail. We've got the leaves sitting in front and behind each other. We've done the glass vases where this is like this bobbly glass, and we've put this suggestion of these glass vases in so they're not too dominant. The flowers are the thing, but the glass vases are there. We're going to learn all of those things in the watercolour. And you see that watercolour has this lovely soft translucence. This again is a watercolour painting, and one thing that this painting shows is how it's really good to learn to put in some strong darks to contrast with the softness. And these lines here that pull out the shape of the flower, they're really fun to learn how to do. And we do them with a tiny brush or a brush called a rigger brush. And yeah, that's a real fun thing. Similarly, with this iris, I've pulled those lines and shape of the flower out with black ink and a scratchy pen. And it's learning so that you do it sometimes very finely, sometimes heavier, and you miss some bits and catch some bits. So you're not sort of meticulously and heavily outlining the flower, otherwise it looks like painting by numbers. So there's quite a skill in learning to do that. And again, we've got the contrast between this is strong ink and this is pale watercolour, and it looks quite nice having the two together on a painting. So this painting is a bit more what I call a sort of mushy look, and we've got the suggestion of the tablecloth and the flowers, and we've got a background and the big heavy roses, and we've got the contrast between the lines and the soft translucent overlays of the watercolour, and then the stronger ink there. The inks are really fun just to have a go with a quick splish splosh painting. Once you've learnt to sort of pull out some of these shapes like of these dahlias, and the inks do these wonderful things where they sort of dissolve into each other. So they're really kind of scrumptious to work with. And lastly, this is a loose and free, colourful painting, again in watercolour and ink. And these strong, bright dahlias really want to be painted in these strong, bright colours. And again, we've got this sort of contrast between the soft translucence and the strong colour. And we're going to learn how to get these suggestions of vases. And in this case, this is a green glass vase I have, and it picks up the light in beautiful ways. So we're going to learn all those things, and you're going to paint a painting and you're going to go home with that framed. So I hope that you're feeling inspired to come and join us. We paint in this room looking out on the garden, which is really lovely, and it's just a really lovely way to spend 3 days painting flowers. So if you'd like to join us, email emma@bradnessgallery.com and we look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Bye.